Someday we'll get paid for this.
When a cancer is allowed to grow unchecked, it carries the risk of metastasizing. In the year 2013, the cancer of excessive state secrecy has manifested itself in a fashion that many of its detractors could not have imagined just a decade ago. That's because in the post-9/11 era, the National Security Agency and the executive branch, more broadly, has driven the judicial branch of government underground, with irremediable consequences for constitutional government. Welcome to Collateral.
Your ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Recently, a sea change has occurred within the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court's activities. For the prior 3 decades, the FISA court mostly ruled on warrant requests by intelligence agencies interested in spying on suspected foreign agents inside the U.S. It functioned as a virtual rubber stamp, approving almost every one of the more than 30,000 requests that it fielded. In 2007, the court began issuing classified decisions not about individual requests for warrants, but on broad matters of law. Rather than ask for permission to wiretap a particular person in a particular instance, the NSA now began seeking blanket approval to conduct surveillance according to the dubious application of a variety of legal principles like the special needs doctrine. Now, in 2013, we've learned that the NSA is comfortable enough with the direction of the FISA court's recent decisions that it routinely collects everyone's information anywhere it can, even though whatever alleged justification for that collection was made in secret.
NSA and the intelligence community in general is focused on getting intelligence wherever it can by any means possible that it believes on the grounds of sort of a self-certification that they serve the national interest. Originally, we saw that focus very narrowly tailored as foreign intelligence gathered overseas. Now, increasingly, we see that it's happening domestically. And to do that, the NSA specifically targets the communications of everyone. It ingests them by default. It collects them in its system, and it filters them, and it analyzes them, and it measures them, and it stores them for periods of time, simply because that's the easiest, most efficient, and most valuable way to achieve these ends.
So, not only is the NSA's information gathering done in secret, now the legal decisions that purport to legitimize that broad surveillance have also been sealed from public view. We now have a sort of underground parallel court structure in the United States that never sees the light of day, but which has radically altered the character of social life. The role of the Justice Department in this process has been shameful. Since 9/11, Justice Departments under both the Bush and Obama administrations have turned to mining prior legal decisions in search of principles that can be bent to the service of even greater government secrecy. The clear goal is to eliminate the possibility that targets of this expanding surveillance regime can have a meaningful day in court. Basically, if you're a target of surveillance, you won't be shown the justification for your being targeted because, well, sorry, that's classified information. You can't see that information. Your lawyer, if you're allowed to have one, can't see the information. But don't worry, a classified decision from the FISA court made years ago said it's okay. Remember, everyone's information is being collected and stored for retrieval and potential review at some later point. That makes it pretty obvious who are the real targets of the surveillance state. You are, not some would-be terrorist. You're the target. The point is to criminalize dissent and weaken oversight of the intelligence agencies and companies they interface with that run the country. The main purpose of the whole enterprise is to let all of us know that everything we do, who we email, where we bank, what we buy, everything is being logged in case it's needed to build a case against us later on. Or worse, to potentially blackmail us if we should ever decide we want to fight back against any of the excesses of power being brought to bear on us. Simply put, the overriding goal is to usher in a new regime of self-governance, to teach people that they'd better get used to having their data collected and potentially used against them, and to get them to change their conduct accordingly. Even if you're one of those people who thinks you have nothing to hide, well, okay, maybe you don't think you have anything to hide. But I wouldn't count on it, particularly if the job of the person looking at your private life depends on his ability to find dirt on you. If you've ever purchased decongestant, iodine, and lighter fluid during the same week, good luck trying to prove that you weren't using it to make crystal meth if the NSA decides to argue that you were. Anyway, the bigger point is you no longer have the choice to keep anything private even if you wanted to. And more importantly, neither can the journalists and whistleblowers whose job it is to report on the companies and regulators who are responsible for making sure the food your kids eat isn't contaminated, and that the buses your kids ride to school in conform to safety standards, and that the medicine your kids are going to ingest hasn't been tampered with, stuff like that. Those companies, the same ones who fund the campaigns of elected officials and who often partner with the NSA to collect your information, they have plenty to hide. But it's harder to expose their wrongdoing if the ones doing the exposing know their lives might be ruined for doing so. So this is really the end game for an open democratic society. A country whose courts issue classified decisions that cannot even be seen, let alone challenged by ordinary citizens. And these are decisions that strip citizens of their protections from unwarranted search and seizure. This is not a country recognizably the America of its lofty ideals. Edward Snowden, Bradley Manning, William Binney, Thomas Drake, Aaron Swartz, Barrett Brown, Sibel Edmonds, and the many other whistleblowers who have risked life and livelihood to reveal the high-level wrongdoing they witnessed are modern heroes. They seek to preserve a space for the retention of human dignity within the metastasizing realm of government and corporate-sponsored security measures.
So while they may be intending to target someone associated with a foreign government or someone that they suspect of terrorism, they're collecting your communications to do so. Any analyst at any time can target anyone, any selector anywhere. Where those communications will be picked up depends on the range of the sensor networks and the authorities that that analyst is empowered with. Not all analysts have the ability to target everything, but I, sitting at my desk, certainly have the authorities to wiretap anyone, from you or your accountant to a federal judge to even the president if I had a personal email.